Okay.
So we are live.
Oh, yeah, we are live. Oh, I think I just messed up that. Anyway, yes, we are live. Okay, this is Sydney Winston, and I'm sitting here with
PO.
P.O.
PIO. Yes.
Now, I've made this adults only in terms of the restrictions on watching, because this is pretty horrific stuff. Okay, let me just get a reset up here. This is kind of an impromptu stream, really. It's kind of not really planned.
It's spontaneous.
It's spontaneous. That's a good one. And now I just want to bring up the what's that one? Get that one there. So it might be worth the wait, everybody. It just might be worth the wait. I'm almost with you, sires and sirets. Oops. Should have got all this ready before we went live instead of just saying, hey, let's go live. I've got something to talk about. But I don't know. I'll just do it this way. For now. All right. I think this is it. I got enough here to just get the ball rolling here. So, what we're going to be listening to, watching. Oops, sorry, I switched myself off there. Okay, what we're going to be listening to is a Chabad of Brooklyn Heights presentation of the Eternal Covenant, the Brit Milah, the ritual genital mutilation of the little Jewish boy's penis. So, according to the Torah, which was written tens of hundreds of years ago, probably more like 3,000 or 4,000, who knows, long time ago. So this is what the Jewish religion enforces upon its community. You ready, P.O.?
And babies. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, then. Let's do it.
The Torah tells us there's a mitzvah to circumcise every male. As it says in Genesis 17:10, Himer lechem kol zachar, that every male among you must be circumcised. And the Torah goes on to say that this is done at 8 days old, and this is true for every male throughout all your generations. And the Rambam in Maimonides goes on to explain in Positive Commandment 2:15 that you must circumcise every male, and if one does not circumcise their child, then this child violates a mitzvah in the Torah, which is a mitzvah that is punishable through kares, which means that he is cut off from the Jewish people.
Okay, so the child is already guilty if he doesn't get circumcised. You see what's going on here?
There are a lot of questions to it before that.
I can start this. Yeah, okay.
Because of course he's talking about the understanding who is male, and I'm just doing it on purpose. Excuse me for that. Because today the times are changing, right? So there is the ABCD plus club, which will define, or we will say male is not a male and a female is not a female, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not mentioned in the Torah because they didn't know about that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how we go with that? Then the second question will be, why did God create males not perfect? Because the perfect guys are the circumcised guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he just created the imperfect males to take the covenant?
That's a good
You know
question
what?
too. I don't think we're going to get an answer to that though.
But yes, of course. So he's saying the people who are not doing the Brit Milah,
Yeah, if the baby doesn't get Brit Milah, then the baby has
pushed out of the
is shunned.
Jewish
Yeah, is
community.
shunned, and the baby is not a good person. Bad person. Bad person. A Jewish person who's not circumcised is a bad person.
And then there's the question: how does the cutting of your foreskin say anything about if you're a good person or not?
That's a yeah. Okay, listen to this.
And it says, the uncircumcised male whose foreskin shall not be circumcised shall be punished by Kodesh. This is the Peshat, the simple explanation of the mitzvah. And as we find, the Gemara tells us that David HaMelech, King David, was once walking
Can you stop it
in a bathhouse
for a
and
second?
he became very sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't understand what it means to be punished by whatever he said. Something with
Pshat.
What does it mean?
I have no idea.
I have no idea what it means.
Probably shunning or something. I could look it up. Hold on. I could look it up in my. I don't like that spaceship in my way like that. It's pissing me off. Excuse me while I change it.
Yeah, no problem.
There we go. Okay, so dictionary.
But let us. Can we just? I know it's just 1 minute and 23 seconds in it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we hear what he says? The child will be punished by.
You want to go back or something?
Yes, it's like I want to hear what the child will be punished from or about or
Okay.
whatever.
Where it tells us that David HaMelech, King David, was once walking.
I didn't go back far enough.
Generations. And the Rambam in Maimonides goes on to explain in Positive Commandment 2:15 that you must circumcise every male, and if one does not circumcise their child, then this child violates a mitzvah in the Torah, which is a mitzvah that is punishable through Kodesh, which means that he is cut off from the Jewish people. As it says,
Okay.
uncircumcised.
Okay.
Kodesh is holiness, I guess.
No, he just explained it. He will be cut off the Jewish people.
Right.
I think I don't know what he's coming from, right?
Yeah.
Because in fact you cannot be cut off. You cannot be excommunicated in Jewish religion.
Okay, pshat means split, to tear off, strip.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
he'll be like cut off or split from the Jewish people.
Yeah.
In fact, it's not possible, but it happened once, or acknowledge to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It was Spinoza who was kind of excommunicated from the Jewish community But
Don't forget about Sydney Winston.
no, you are not. You are a Jew forever.
I'm excommunicated. I'm
No.
excommunicated, man.
In fact, I don't know where he's coming from because like 60 million Jews, 66 million different opinions. So I don't know if he's telling the truth.
Well, he's studying. He's reading from a book that the school gave him.
No, but he is interpreting it, right?
Interpreting.
Yeah. So it.
They all, but why shouldn't he? I mean, you do it when you read something.
Of course, but so he's referring to the Torah with all the 613 laws, but I don't think it says there the stuff he's saying. He must be referring to the other 6 books what the Jews have, and not.
Well, to be honest with you, after a minute into this 30-minute lesson, we're not giving him much of a chance to make his point or something for you to actually ask these questions.
Okay, so let's hear what he has to say. Okay,
let's hear what he has to say before you tell us what he's going to say. All right.
His male whose foreskin shall not be circumcised shall be punished by Kodesh. This is the Peshat, the simple explanation of the mitzvah. And as we find, the Gemara tells us that David HaMelech, King David, was once walking in a bathhouse, and he became very sad because he realized that he was naked from mitzvahs.
What?
Listen to this fucking story. I've heard this. Listen to this.
You have to realize in those days they wore not only a yarmulke and tzitzis and a talis, but they also wore tefillin all day. And David HaMelech realized that now that he's in the bathhouse, he took off his yarmulke, he took off his tzitzis, he took off his tefillin. He has no mitzvahs on him. The Gemara goes on to say when he reminded himself that he was circumcised, then he became calm. And the question comes to mind, what do you mean when he remembered he was circumcised? How can anyone forget that they're circumcised? The answer is that originally David HaMelech thought that the mitzvah of circumcision was a one-time act. 8 days old, you have the mitzvah, then you're finished. Then he realized that the mitzvah of circumcision is not only that.
So a mitzvah is a torturous event. If circumcision is a mitzvah, if Brit Milah is a mitzvah, then a mitzvah is a torturous, painful, traumatic event.
No, he's talking about that if you are circumcised, it was just one-time event and you forget it.
I know what he's talking about. I'm just...
but in fact, this is a lie, because if you are circumcised, you don't forget about that.
Correct.
Because it's like following you all your life through.
Right.
And I can say it. Okay, I can tell for the people who were circumcised when they were babies or something, right? But I was circumcised at the age of 16 because I decided to do that, right? So I know the difference being not circumcised and being circumcised. So it's not a one-day event. You don't forget it.
Right. Well, even if you were circumcised at 8 days old, you never forget it. One never forgets that they are circumcised.
Yeah. And at least you'll realize that if you meet a girl you love, there'll be a difference in performing. Okay.
Well, you have that experience, maybe. But I was still a virgin when I got circumcised, I might add. I was only 8 days old, but, semantics.
Oh, you mean you a virgin when you were 8 years old? Yeah, I just make it fun. Let's move on.
All right.
You shall be circumcised, but rather that this mitzvah is a bris olam, is an eternal, everlasting covenant in your flesh. In other words, every moment that a Jew has the mitzvah of circumcision, he fulfills another mitzvah. And therefore, when he remembered that he was circumcised, and that the circumcision was not only a one-time act, but as long as you do not enlarge the foreskin
Completely stupid.
and violate the circumcision, then every moment you have fulfilled this mitzvah of circumcision.
So stop it once again. So this guy is claiming if you're circumcised, it's kind of you should remember it all. Of course you will remember because you are. Every time you look at your dick, you see that you are circumcised. There is no day in your life that you don't know that you're not, right?
Right.
So he's talking like you can forget about it, right? Oh, I forgot that I'm circumcised.
Right. Exactly.
I forgot that I'm doing my mitzvah. What a
Yeah.
stupid kind
Absolutely. Dumb
Yeah.
fuckery.
yeah.
Vuchim, the Rambam, in the Guide for the Perplexed, explains that the reason behind this mitzvah is to diminish in one's physical pleasures. By the fact that God commanded us to be circumcised, this would diminish our temptations
I knew that would get you.
and our
Yeah.
desires for worldly things. And because of this, a Jew could be more focused on Torah and spirituality.
Exactly.
So this is the
stop it.
pshat of
So the thing is, he is just speaking out loudly that the circumcision has only one purpose: to kind of diminish your sexual pleasure.
Yes.
It's a kind of a, let's say, birth control.
No,
And-
it's a
and-
pleasure control.
It's a pleasure control, and because you are kind of cut out of the sexual pleasure, you will focus on studying the Torah. Is it exactly? In fact, he is saying the truth, right? Because you
Yes,
are
right.
now robbed of your sexual pleasure, and he thinks that robbing your senses of sexual pleasurement will result in more studying the Torah. But there are no real like studies about that. Why is a guy who having sex or like to have sex on the other side will not enjoy to study the Torah? There is no evidence for it.
Correct.
He's just claiming that, right? He's saying,
Correct.
"Oh, we did it to reduce the sexual pleasure."
So that
Which
there's
is
more
correct.
time to study Torah. Torah,
Yeah.
Torah, Torah.
Exactly, and which is stupid, and there is no evidence for it.
Right.
who is supposed to be circumcised and when to be circumcised and why to be circumcised. What is the remez? What is the hint? The hint of circumcision is for the future. And that is, by circumcising ourselves now, we are reminded that in the future, Umal Hashem elikeches levavcha, that in the future, as it states in Deuteronomy, God will circumcise our hearts. But Mashiach will come. Very, very soon, God will perform a spiritual circumcision. And that is, he will circumcise the
Wait, circumcise our hearts. What? In the fuck?
I knew that was going to get you. Fuck.
Circumcise our heart.
Yeah.
What does it mean, right?
I don't know.
If it's even so, I will like make a leap or try to understand him. So let's see. Let's say he speaks in metaphors, and let's say the heart is the place where we love each other.
All right.
So, does it mean that God wants us not to love other people? Is this what he's meaning by that?
I guess yes, because that makes sense. Also,
No.
the reason that Jewish boys that are 8 days old also get a piece of their stomach removed is so that they don't overindulge in food pleasure, right? So that's why stomachs are removed, and the reason that Jewish boys of 8 days old also get a part of their liver removed is so that they can't enjoy too much alcohol. You see?
Yeah, but I mean, I met many rabbis, right? And on Sabbath, they drink a lot of the red kosher wine, and they enjoy it a lot, right?
Yeah. Well, don't forget it. Look, for the Orthodox, Friday is a day of it's a mitzvah to have coitus on Friday night. So the wine is flowing, sex is rampant on Friday nights.
It's recommended.
No, it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah.
A mitzvah is a law, right? Or
Yeah, you could say so.
Yeah,
you could say so.
right. So, as a Jewish guy, you have to have sex on Friday.
Yeah.
No,
No. Yeah. Friday is, if you're gonna have sex, Friday is the night, because you know how busy these people are. Busy, tired.
Depends if sex is work, right? But for some people, let's say it's pleasure, it's not work.
Well, I don't know how the Orthodox work, but I'm sure it's not a sort of a date night thing.
Yeah, but it's totally, yeah, it's stupid anyway.
It is stupid. But anyway, let's do this.
Yeah.
This guy looks to me fucking scary. Just imagine if he was your teacher, and you were learning about your penis from him, and what you have to do with it, and what you have to say as a father. This is what you have to do to your son.
We have to run.
Foreskin of our heart. Every individual has challenges, and every individual has temptations. And therefore, every day we struggle, the godly soul over the animal soul, to overcome these hardships. However, when Mashiach will come, God will totally circumcise the foreskin of our heart, and he will remove all of these temptations from us completely. Another connection between the bris milah and circumcision.
Once again, I kind of
And
know if you can stop it. So this is like a kind of stupid thing, right? God created us in his own image. He wants to be us like the best people, right?
Okay.
Best possible people.
Yeah.
And now we have the tradition of circumcision, which will make you a better man, right?
Correct.
So why did God not created us from the beginning without a foreskin? There'll be no problem.
Because
Right.
it's all made up. It's all made up, dude. It's not true.
It's fucking
So
stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid, right?
Well,
The guy
yeah.
is telling. So God should be circumcised too, right? And there will be not a reason why he will create people with a foreskin, or man with a foreskin. Let's say that. They'll be not created in his image.
Then you
Right.
wouldn't have a story. You wouldn't have a control measure over the Jewish community. See, that's what the rabbis have over there. It's how they keep their communities close-minded. Is they introduce the Brit Milah as a mitzvah, and when it actually, during the whole ceremony, it's a celebration. It's always a celebration.
Exactly. But the child is crying.
This child doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the child. It's a matter about the tradition, the celebration, the child will get over it.
The child will
The child will get over it, but you'll always remember the celebration of Brit Milah, of circumcision.
Yeah, you remember it because all these guys were saying, "Oh, great stuff," right? Or would you remember it as a torture for this child, right? You will not
Absolutely.
remember that.
For the child, it's torture. No doubt about it.
So this is what I'm asking all the time, right? If God wanted the Jews to study the Torah, right, and
Yeah.
to be not sexual or whatever, right? Why didn't he create all the people without the foreskin, all the men without a foreskin, right? Because you just cut out the sexual willing, right, or whatever, right? Because we know cutting off your foreskin.
No,
will
the
reduce-
sexual urge. You mean?
Once again.
I don't know where you're going, to be honest. Because you've
No,
asked this question already, so I'm not sure why you're asking it again.
Yeah, I'm asking this already because this guy is saying, or what he is explaining, the cutting of the foreskin
Mhm.
will reduce your sexual pleasure. It will kind of focus your attention to studying the Torah.
That's the idea. But
Right.
but whether it works or not is another. Obviously, it doesn't work. It's bullshit because it comes from the Torah.
It works for a lot of Jewish people. Didn't work for me, right?
Yeah, but we're not talking about you. We're talking about learning about the eternal covenant. Let's carry on.
The days of Mashiach is that both are represented by the number 8. The child is supposed to circumcise himself or through his father on the 8th day. And if for some reason the father does not do it, then the child, when he becomes bar mitzvah, is obligated to make sure he's circumcised. But the number 8 is
Stop it.
connected with
Stop
the
it.
Geula, with the redemption. Because
So
we are
the
told that
child,
when Mashiach will
so the
come,
child have to.
that the kinner,
Come on, Sydney. What are you saying now?
I know what he's saying.
But it's funny. The child has to make sure
Okay.
it's circumcised itself.
The child
Like
has to make sure at the age of 13 that he gets circumcised. Yes.
No. He said the child have to make sure it's circumcised itself, like the.
You
the
never said
child-
that. You never said that.
Oh, come on.
Okay,
Just
I'm going back.
Go back.
the bris milah and circumcision, and the days of Mashiach is that both are represented by the number 8. The child is supposed to circumcise himself or through his father on the 8th.
Okay, circumcise himself through his father on the 8th day.
No.
All right, hold on, just let me talk, okay?
Okay.
I'm just repeating what he's saying.
No, you don't.
I'm just repeating what he's saying. And
No,
what
you
he
do
said was the child has to circumcise himself on the 8th day, but through his father.
No, or he doesn't say make sure it be circumcised. No, circumcised himself or his father. So that
I'm going to play it again. Listen to it this time.
yeah.
Individual has temptations, and therefore every day we struggle, the godly soul over the animal soul, to overcome these hardships. However, when Mashiach will come, God will totally circumcise the foreskin of our heart, and he will remove all of these temptations from us completely. Another connection.
I just wanted to point out to the medical people out there who didn't know this, but the heart as a foreskin. I don't know if you've done much anatomy, and I haven't done much myself, but I've flipped through some books.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of the heart and everything. I just never seen every single heart I've ever seen is a Jewish heart, because it's been circumcised and it has no
With the
foreskin. No foreskin. It's been circumcised.
Okay.
Connection between the bris milah and circumcision and the days of Mashiach is that both are represented by the number 8. The child is supposed to circumcise himself or through his father on the 8th day.
Stop.
And if for some
The child should circumcise himself
Or through his father.
through his father.
Yes.
Which it means, this was the, this is why we rewind, right?
Yeah.
The child should cut up his foreskin for himself or
Or through his father. Right. Well, it's obviously going to be through the father at 8 days old.
no, but at days.
Listen. What you're doing is you're making something.
I'm not.
You're
making
making
up.
something
I'm
out of
just
nothing.
listening to this guy.
Because you know
I'm
that
just listening to this guy.
I understand that, but you know that an 8-day-old child could not circumcise himself, so through the father. That's how.
What?
What is so difficult about that?
Jewish children can do it. Come on.
It's the 13-year-old that I want to listen to. I don't care about the 8-year-old. We know about the 8-day-old. We know about how helpless the 8-day-old is. What is the advice to a 13-year-old?
Come on. 8-day Jewish child are fully capable of circumcising themselves.
Only the left-handed ones. All right, I'm interested in what his advice is to the 13-year-olds who are uncircumcised.
some reason the child does not do it, then the child when he becomes is obligated to make sure he's circumcised. But
You see? Not to circumcise himself. Make sure he's circumcised.
Yeah, well,
Okay?
at 13, but in fact, he had to do it like after the 8 days.
Okay, to everybody out there who is watching or will be watching, this is how two Jews discuss the Torah. It's generational. It's been going on for thousands of years. Okay, it's okay.
And now we're discussing only the Torah because this guy is telling us what it means, right?
Right. Well, he's reading to us from the book.
the number 8 is connected with the Geula, with the redemption, because we are told that when Mashiach will come, that the kinnor, the harp of La'asad Lavai of the world to come, will be of 8 strings. 7 represents nature, and 8 represents beyond nature. So this is the remez of Milah, the hint of Milah. What is the drush? What is the homiletics? The first mitzvah that God gave Abraham and commanded Abraham to do was the mitzvah of Milah, the mitzvah of circumcision. And as we say every time we perform the bris, lachnisai.
Oh, fuck it.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the first mitzvah, the very first mitzvah, before feeding your children, before the mitzvah of taking care of your family, before the mitzvah of family unity, before the mitzvah of education, before the mitzvah of philanthropy, the first mitzvah is milah. Chopping off the tip of the penis. Ouch.
And I will claim it, and it will force us to rewind it again.
Okay.
You're like, since 20 minutes, listen to the first 5 minutes.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
He told us before there are other mitzvot before that.
Oh, did he?
And now he's claiming it's the first one.
Oh, well, then he's a... Well, I mean, if it's... you see, then you know it's a lie. If they can't get their stories straight.
No, the thing is, those guys, I mean, it doesn't matter which religion you belong to and you listen to, right? If there are Orthodox guys telling you something, they will lie in front of you
Of
and
course.
you will not notice it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm sure, said before, that the Brit Milah is not the first mitzvah.
Well, it doesn't matter. He said it, so I made a comment, and
No.
I didn't
In
mean
fact,
to.
he
I didn't
said
mean to.
it's not the first, but he's now claiming it's the first.
I just didn't mean to draw it out, to draw the commentary, the reaction out so long.
Okay, that's just
Bivrisei shel Avraham Avinu, to enter into the covenant of Abraham. Yet the Rambam tells us in his commentary to the Mishnayos that do not think that we perform the circumcision today because Avraham did it. No, that's not why we do it. The reason why one should perform circumcision is because God commanded us on Sinai. Yet, we continue to say, "Lachnisei bivrisei shel Avraham Avinu," the covenant of Abraham, and this was the first commandment that God gave Abraham. Why was this the commandment that God gave Abraham? This is
Stop it.
that
Stop it.
the mitzvah.
Stop it. It's a
Stopped
fucking
it.
lie.
Okay, let's
so-
unpeel the lie.
I'm saying it's a lie according if you are Orthodox guy, right? Because the mitzvot, the laws in the Torah,
Mm-hmm.
didn't start with Abraham. They start with Adam. And Adam got first laws to him before there was Abraham. Right? There's a lot of people before Abraham. And this guy is claiming that the first commandment of God was to circumcise your children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he's like lying in front, like in your face.
With that face.
Yeah, with that face, exactly. He's like claiming, like the Torah starts with, you have to circumcise your children.
Right.
It's not the truth.
But you expect?
Right.
Okay, hold on a second. I got a question for you. Do
Okay.
you really expect the truth out of this guy?
No.
So don't be surprised that it's not the truth.
Yeah, I'm just want to point it out because there'll be other people like they are non-Jewish watching this channel, right?
Yes.
And
Well,
and
you can't make that presupposition.
and even there'll be people watching it, like not only atheists, they're Christian, Buddhists, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if we were not doing these comments on this guy, they will like believe it that the first commandment in the Torah was not do not eat from the tree. It was to Adam, you have to be circumcised.
Right. But it was Abraham who was circumcised first. Abraham was the first Jew, I guess.
Was
No.
he?
I don't know.
Isn't-
He's the first one who
but
was.
just-
He's the first
No,
one
no,
who
no.
was told to be circumcised.
But isn't like according to the Jews that Adam was the first Jew, and according to Islam,
Oh, I don't know.
Adam was the first Muslim, and according to Christianity, Adam was the first Christian.
Adam was Jesus Christ. And
Uh,
Jesus Christ was Adam, and Adam was Jesus Christ.
No. Jesus Christ was God, the guy who killed all these children during the flood.
Oh,
It wasn't
naughty
Abraham.
God.
Okay. Continue. Let's continue.
Of Milah is the paradigm for all other mitzvahs. What is the objective of a mitzvah? Every mitzvah, the word mitzvah means tzavtza v'chibur, means connection. And the purpose of every mitzvah is that a person becomes transformed, becomes changed, becomes refined. However, when a person gives tzedakah with his hand, even though...
That's the funny stuff, right? Why should you have to be transformed?
Because you have to become refined, he said.
Yeah, but
that's just a claim. To refine, what do you mean refined? In his image, in his worldview, say refinement is conservative Orthodox Judaism, ultra Orthodox Judaism, I should say. That's his refinement.
Yeah, I'm just talking against this guy, right?
Right.
So if we are, according to Judaism,
Yeah.
and according to some other religions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Created in the image of God, right?
Okay.
Why should we be redefined? Because then we will be not the image of God, right? This is what I'm just talking. This guy, just listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you can listen to every, like, other Abrahamic religions. So there's a claim, we are created in the image of God.
Yes.
Right? And now he's saying we have to be redefined.
Yeah.
It's the total opposite.
It's a contradiction. It's a contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Why should we be redefined? We are just already created in the image of God. Why? So we shouldn't be the image of God? What else does he say? Right? And I'm just arguing from the theistic view.
Yeah.
I mean, the atheistic view is totally stupid at all, right? But if you are theists, right?
God forbid. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
If I'm a theist, yuck.
Okay, let's move on.
Though the hand becomes more refined every time you give more and more tzedakah, yet we don't see a transformation in the actual hand. When it comes, however, to the mitzvah of milah, we see that there's a total transformation within the limb of the milah. Before there was a foreskin, and now there's not. To the degree that we say that the signature of God is now upon this limb. And therefore the milah is an icon or a paradigm to remind us how every mitzvah has to be like milah, has to bring about a transformation. Such a transformation that even the nations of the world can detect the difference before and after. And that is why the mitzvah of milah was the first mitzvah given to Abraham, to tell Abraham that your descendants that will come after you, and they will have all the mitzvahs.
Well, I did say that Abraham was the guy who was at first told to be circumcised. So
no,
there's my Jewish history confirmed, validated, credible. Okay, sorry.
No, the funny stuff is the Muslims also get circumcised.
You don't give a fuck about the Muslims.
Of course not.
I give a shit about the Muslims.
But he's saying the fact that you are circumcised is making you a Jew, right? And if
irrelevant. Your Honor, I object. Irrelevant.
No, this is the funny stuff. This guy is claiming, from his point of view, that the circumcision makes you a Jew, and this is the fact, right? But the Muslims will tell you, no. Circumcision is our stuff.
I don't see why you're bringing up the word Muslim in my room. You've defiled my room by bringing up the word Muslim.
But so okay,
I think
bring that.
I need to do tradition. I need to do a purification ritual.
Yeah, so do it like the Egyptians did it, because they had also already, before Judaism even exists, they had the tradition of circumcision. If you wanted to be a priest,
I don't care. We don't care. This guy's reading from the Tanakh. I mean, We don't care what anything else says later or before, because we're Jews.
Of course,
we're Jews. We're not Muslims. Pia.
Of course,
We're not Egyptian, ancient Egyptian,
of course, we do
whatever.
not care, but it's not.
It
like
doesn't
we
matter. It's
invented it.
irrelevant. We've got to concentrate on the Torah.
Okay.
Mitzvahs of the Torah, each mitzvah should be like the circumcision to bring about a total transformation. And this concept is also hinted in the word bris. It's a famous teaching that the word bris, if you add up the letters of bris, it equals to 612.
Oh.
And we know there are really 613 mitzvahs. So there are those who say that the 613...
Rewind it. Come on.
Why?
Isn't he said like 612, and now it means 613? I mean, I'm not...
No, what he said...
I'm really trying to follow this guy.
Okay, he went to numerology, and he said the word, he made a word, I can't remember the word. He says if you add...
Sydney, you're muted.
Sorry. He went to numerology, and he took the word, whatever it was, Brit Milah, whatever it was, and he added up all the numerical values, and it only came to 612. But apparently there's 613 mitzvahs, and now he's going to explain that the circumcision is the 613th mitzvah or whatever. You want to rewind? I'll be happy to rewind.
I just wanted to because what I understood, there are 612, right? And suddenly, what you said, Brimla means 613, but I don't think so because it's already in the 612.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. So I can either rewind or just carry on.
Yeah, you can carry on.
Okay.
Itself, or those who study gematria, the numerical values of letters and words, know that each word has a koilil. A koilil means an all-inclusive number that totals everything together, and this is number one. So every word automatically has the number one. According to Kabbalah, this number one is really the glue that brings all the letters together to make it into a word. But the point is, it's called a koilil.
What the fuck is that talking about?
And what the concept is as follows, that the mitzvah of milah, which is a bris ima koilel, represents a mitzvah kolelis. In other words, that mitzvah of milah is a general mitzvah. It's a general mitzvah that impacts all 612 other mitzvahs. Once we know the objective of the milah, of the bris milah, now we know how to do all 612. So therefore, bris equals 612. Because once you do the circumcision, which is the first bris, the first mitzvah, now you know how to perform the rest of the commandments of the Torah.
Don't need to be mean,
all the
right?
additional...
He says, first of all, every mitzvah, like every word in Torah, means one. Then he says that, so it means one, not 612 or 613. This is my first point, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's saying that suddenly they don't have the same meaning. Please rewind it. The thing is, he's saying that every word means one.
But you don't understand that all of this, what you're talking about, is irrelevant to the procedure of Brit Milah, which is what we're trying to get to. But you're nitpicking on every little thing and going to the Muslims.
Of course, I'm doing it. Of course, I'm doing it because people who listen to him, right? They will buy it, right? They don't understand what he's saying. This is what I'm trying to say. This guy is telling you he's a good car seller, right? He will tell a lot of words and then you think, oh, this guy is right. But you have go through everything we're saying. He's saying every word means one. And then he came with the 612, and plus one means 613. And 612 have no meaning because of the one. And the one includes the 612. Blah, blah, blah. Just think about it. This guy is crazy. And
That's for
the
sure.
people sitting in front of him,
Yeah.
because he's saying the stuff or how
Yeah.
he's saying, they believe him. They
All
don't
right.
take
Well, he hasn't even got to the juicy part yet. And you're
yeah, of course.
you're
We
this
are
worked
in,
up already. This is great. This is great. Just wait till he. All right. Actually, I'm really anticipating your reaction to everything that's going to be said.
612 mitzvahs. What does Kabbalah say? What does Soid say about the mitzvah of Milah? We read in chapter 30, verse number 12 of the book of Deuteronomy. It says over there, pertaining to this mitzvah, Mi ya'aleh lanu hashemayma, who can ascend to the heaven? So the words Mi ya'aleh lanu hashemayma, we are told that the first letters of these 4 words spell out the word Milah. Mi is a mem, Ya'aleh is a yud, lanu is a lamid, hashemayma is a hey. The last letter of each of these 4 words, Mi Ya'aleh lanu hashemayma, spells out the name of God, Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. One is called the Rashi Tevis, and one is called Seife Tevis. One is called the first letter of each word, and one is the last letter of each word. It's known that the first letter of each word is greater than the last letter of each word.
Oh, I challenge that. It is known that the first letter of each word is greater than the last letter of each word. Is it known to you, Pio?
in fact, no. You have to go on without me because I hated his explanation of that.
Okay.
And here we find that the word Milah is higher than the name of God. For the last letter of each word spells out the tetragrammaton. God's ineffable name, the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey.
Yahweh.
How is it possible that Milah, the
In
circumcision, is
fact,
higher than the name of God?
he is not allowed even to spell this name, right? He
No,
should
you can say Yud. He's supposed to say Yud Hey, Vav K. That's what he's supposed to say. Or Yud K Vav Hey, something like that. One of the Hey is going to be a K. So that's what he's supposed to say. Unless he's praying.
Yeah, but he. So from my point of view, where I'm coming from, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not allowed to do it. He should say Hashem, and not studying the stuff.
No, if he's the tetragrammaton is Yud Hey Vav Hey, but his orthodoxy shouldn't allow him to say Yud Hey Vav Hey. He should say Yud Hey Vav K, or Yud K Vav Hey. And I think he does say it correctly in a bit.
Okay.
God. And the answer is that the name of God, the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey, represent a certain level of affinity, the level of tzimtzum, contraction. The Yud represents a concept, the Hey represents understanding, the Vav represents emotions, the Hey represents speech or action. But Milah is a bond that is connecting with God beyond time and space. What is a bris? What is a covenant? When 2 people love each other. They say, look, we love each other right now. and we don't know what the future is going to bring. So let's make a covenant. In America, we call this a marriage. Let's get married. Let's make a treaty.
Come on, stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
Brit Milah means two people love each other without time and space. What? What the fuck? Come on.
Oh, this is
Come
funny.
on. If you're mutilating your child, you're
Yeah.
getting rid of his foreskin.
Yeah.
This means love between two people,
Uh-huh.
which is everlasting.
Now you got it. You see, when you listen to these people, this is the conclusion you come to. Thank you, Pio.
It's so stupid. And every guy in this room, there's nobody in this room who's saying anything about this guy. They are listening to him and buying it,
Oh, no doubt.
right?
We will stay together even through fire and water, through difficulties. Even if it's illogical that we should stay together, still no, because we made this pact.
Oh, he's
We made
right at
this
the last
bris.
thing.
We-
He's right about that thing. Even it's illogical. You'll stay together, right? There, he's right. But the rest of it, it's such stupid. He's just putting the bullshit in front of these people. It's totally illogical, but we stay together. I'm sorry. But I'm still-
you're right, though. I mean, he's saying that no matter what, fire or water,
Yeah.
whatever that means. Fuck.
Yeah.
made this covenant, we are going to stay together forever. And this is the milah between
I absolutely do not want to be part of this guy's group in any way whatsoever. Why should I have to be sentenced to be part of this guy's group forever?
Yeah,
and ever?
and let me tell that at least those guys whoever watched this video, and you are like kind of atheist, right?
Mhm.
So we are both Jews,
Mhm.
not coming from the same background,
Mhm.
and we are listening to this Jew,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And we are not agreeing with him.
Correct.
And maybe you will understand why Judaism is not about having like everybody's going in the same direction. Judaism means there are 60 million Jews, 60 million different opinions, right? And they are all valid in Judaism.
Mhm.
Just think about that, right? It doesn't matter if Judaism is stupid or not. I just want to recognize that.
It's not inherently violent. It's inherently conversationalist.
Right. We are allowed to talk about each other's positions, and this guy, the video we are watching, right, represents the 5% of Judaism, the Orthodox view,
Orthodox.
right, and we are not Orthodox, and we are atheists. At least I can say it for myself, and even I'll ask Sydney. I'm pretty sure
You
he
can
will
speak.
say I'm not Orthodox.
Exactly. You can speak for me as well.
So we are criticizing this stupid guy, and we are allowed to criticize, and we are allowed to say he is stupid, right?
Well, I'd say
Because
it anyway.
and this is how Judaism works.
Well, I could be an atheist with no background of any religion and still say the
Exactly.
same thing.
And we will agree. That's the fun. So I'm identifying myself as a Jew. I identified myself as an atheist, and I'm sure if I would talk to an atheist, like 99%, we will agree, right? And we will be against this guy. This guy.
This guy's evil. Evil.
Yeah, this guy, what we're watching the video, is completely
You are watching.
out of whatever.
Yeah, you're
He's
watching. You're
stupid.
watching an evil, a speech about evil, a speech promoting evil, and trying to sugarcoat itself.
Right.
Between a Jew and God, that this circumcision, this mitzvah, that a child performs or is performed to a child on the 8th day of his birth, on the 8th day, alluding to a level that is beyond intellect, beyond nature, beyond time and space.
What did he just say? Alluding to a nature that is beyond time and space. All right, I just wanted to get that out there.
And one of the reasons why it has to be done on the 8th day is because it has to go through a Shabbos, implying that it's even higher than Shabbos.
Stop it. Beyond time and space, but it has to be performed on the 8th day.
I can't believe that he's keeping a straight face. This is like, welcome to the Brooklyn Comedy Club.
This connection that a Jew acquires through the Milah is a connection that is beyond time and space. And therefore...
So,
hold on a second. You're right.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Beyond time and space, but you gotta wait at least 8 days.
8 days, yeah.
All right.
So we are saying as follows. God, you are the groom and we are the bride. According to
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop.
I'm the bride. Oh my God! Hello. Am I the bride here today? Holy shit, man! What is this guy on?
to provide the wife with everything she needs: food, clothing, happiness. That's the job of the husband.
So how do you provide food, clothing, happiness? you go to the food store, you go to the clothing store, you go to the happiness store.
You can only do it if you are circumcised. If you're not circumcised, you're unable to do it.
Oh, good point.
Yes.
So I pity you, poor uncircumcised men. You are unable to take care of your women like us circumcised men can.
Exactly.
The wife has to fulfill the ketubah. What does that mean? We have to do Torah and mitzvahs. We have to study the Torah and fulfill the 613 commandments. Comes along the bris and says, even if we, the Jew, violated our side, we're not doing all the commandments of the Torah, we're not studying Torah all day, yet God, you have to fulfill your side of the deal, and you have to give us everything that we need. And the opposite is also true. If, God forbid, there's a time that we feel that God is not providing for us properly, He's not giving us our ample needs, our sustenance. God forbid, He doesn't give a person the proper health. So a Jew might say, look, God, you're not doing your part of the deal. I don't do my part of the deal. Comes along the bris, the covenant, that reminds us, no, it's beyond time and space. We have to do ours. And we have to fulfill this responsibility to love God and to have all.
This is also.
You have to fulfill a responsibility to love God. He just said that.
Oh, he did say much more worse stuff.
You have to
Because he
fulfill.
says,
No, the last thing he said was you have to fulfill a responsibility to love God. I just want to put that out there.
okay.
Carry on.
But the stuff he said before is like there's a covenant, right? He said, and there is a covenant from both sides, like from the God side and from our side. This is what he's claiming,
Okay.
right? And we as humans can say to God, "You didn't fulfill your points," right? This is what he's saying, which is, if I will believe in a concept of God, right? He's saying like the humans can say, "Oh God, you didn't fulfill our argument, your points. You agreed to us, and now you are guilty, and we as humans can judge the God." This is what I'm kind of struggling with, because at the end, so according to my knowledge, God is the one who defines what is good or bad and how do you fulfill how you fulfill God's will. But he's saying, this guy, what he's saying, there's a covenant between some people and God, and these people can say, "Oh God, you didn't fulfill the contract, and we can make you now guilty of not fulfilling the stuff you subscribe to," which will be funny if you will, and I don't mean it like a theist. No, I don't mean like an atheist. If a theist will think about God, God is the ruler. There are no rules which people are dictating to God. Right? And this is what he's saying. There are rules that people can decide what God have to do. And if they are able of it, then this God is not a God. Because then this God is depending or on judgment of people. Right?
Correct. And also one thing you said was, if, God forbid, somebody is not given the best of health by God, so God creates unhealthy people, God creates healthy people. We don't need God for that. To create it, for people to be healthy and some of them to be unhealthy, that's just nature.
Of God, and to fulfill Torah mitzvahs even when it's difficult. Which explains another interesting thing, why the bris is connected with pain. One of the reasons that Ashkenazim don't make a shechiyanu out of bris is because we say that the child is crying, the child has pain. How is it that the first mitzvah that God gave the Jewish people, he gave Abraham, the first Jew, the first mitzvah that God gave Abraham, and this is the first mitzvah that a Jew performs when he is born, should be a mitzvah connected with pain? And the answer is that the power of the...
This is where I think they misrepresent. Instead of saying connected with pain, let's not minimize it to the pain. What about the trauma, the long-term trauma? What about the sense of being let down by the mom? What about the mother's trauma, perhaps experienced post-circumcision? What has she done? The guilt, all this kind of stuff. He just minimizes it to pain. And pain, as you know, isn't it clears up. Pain clears up. So when he mentions pain, when circumcision includes all of trauma, psychological problems, guilt, and all these negative experiences, then right now I think this guy should be taken out and thrown into a Catholic monastery. See how he likes it there, because he's definitely not doing the Jews a favor. Do you have any commentary, Pio?
Yeah. The only commentary will be this guy is stupid.
Okay.
The mitzvah. And the objective of the mitzvah is to impact the person on every level, even in his flesh, even on the lowest level of his flesh, even in a level of
The lowest level of his flesh. Ow! Ow! Fuck.
Here we go.
pain and agony. Even there, a person should find God.
Oh! Did you hear that?
Yeah, but
Oh my
it's like
God.
the child. No, okay.
Oh.
Like I have to like I'm in between, but this guy is not explaining Judaism.
Well,
course
he's
it's not
explaining
as-
circumcision, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's connecting circumcision having pain and trauma, right?
No, he never said anything about trauma. He just said pain.
Yeah, but I think
At the
he's-
lowest level possible.
yeah, lowest level possible. In fact, what Judaism
That's barbaric.
In fact, what Judaism is teaching is whatever you are in a shitty situation, you'll still enjoy life, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you should enjoy hurting, right? And this will lead you to something better. It just means if there are influences from outside, right, and you're in a situation where your life is pretty bad, right? You still enjoy life because life itself is a good thing.
Yeah.
But what he's claiming now, that the God advised you to go through the pain. There is like a covenant, whatever he's saying, right?
The Milah, when he says Milah, that's the covenant, the Brit Milah, the
Right.
covenant that he's talking about.
So what he's saying now is not from the influence from outside. This is what I meant by that. When from outside, there is like a influence on you. Might it be war or the worst, whatever you think of, like the worst case scenario. Judaism is teaching you to enjoy life because life is the best thing you can have. And what I mean by that, the life here and now, not the afterlife, because we don't have any information about the afterlife according to Judaism. But this guy is claiming that God called you to suffer, and this is what you have to enjoy.
It's part of the mitzvah, part of the covenant is that you suffer.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think, according to my teachings of Judaism, even if so, to the audience, I'm a Jew, and I heard a lot of people was teaching me Judaism, right?
Yeah.
None of them was teaching me the stuff what he is teaching.
Well, of course not, because you never went to an Orthodox school. or place of learning?
I was kind of in a place where I learned from Orthodox Jews, but they were not teaching me stuff what he is telling, because he's telling you have to go through suffering, right? And my teachers will tell me, yeah, there's a lot of shit happening.
Yeah, he's talking about
Right.
the suffering or the pain and the suffering of the Mila.
Yeah, but it's not kind of, you have to enjoy it because it's the commandment of God. It's like, yeah, there is a lot of stuff which is happening, which are bad, but please enjoy your life because this is the life you have. But what he is telling, you have to suffer. It's kind of the
it's part of the, because you're going to suffer in life. Here's your first taste of it. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. This guy is just representing one sect of Judaism. So whatever, whoever listening to it, right? This guy is not representative of Judaism. He is just
I disagree. I disagree. If every circumcision of a Jewish male is endemic in every Jewish household, no matter what denomination they are. So this guy is very, very, very influential in that particular outcome. If these people weren't so deceitful, they wouldn't be pushing circumcision for the reasons that they push it. What a stupid fucking reason.
I agree with that in the case that Judaism has one mistake. This is the circumcision, right? Because in every other aspect, the philosophy of Judaism is very good. But if they could get rid of the circumcision, they'll be the best. And I'm sorry to say that. No, I'm not sorry. I'm fucking sure of that. So I'm an atheist, right? I'm not an Orthodox Jew, but I think the philosophy of Judaism is really great. It has very good stuff in it, but the circumcision itself is the worst about it. So if the Jews could get rid of the circumcision, it will be one of the best view on the world. But I'm just saying it, right? It will be too long discussion now to explain why.
No, that's fine. We can do that afterwards. Let's get through this fucking this horrible person's speech.
Yeah.
I swear he's like.
I agree with that. I agree. This guy is a total jerk.
Yeah. Look at his face right there. Just stick you know what?
It has something to do with his thoughts.
Yeah. Stick an SS insignia or something on there, and you get the same stare.
Yes.
He's got a Mengele stare. Look at him.
Yeah.
Even though he's a Jew, he's got the heart of Mengele. That guy.
Yeah. It's very sad.
Yeah.
And therefore, at the very beginning of his birth, he's given that brach, he's given that blessing, that even through difficulties and challenges, he should have the ability and the capacity to find God and see God in every reality of life. What does Chassidus say? It's a famous story that when the Rebbe Rashab was a young boy. He was called into his grandfather, the Tzemach Tzedek, for his birthday. And the Rebbe Reshab began to cry. And his Zayda said, "Why are you crying? It's your birthday." He said, "I'm crying because I studied the Chumash, and it says in the Torah, Vayera Elav Hashem, that God revealed himself to Avram. And I want to know, why does God reveal himself to Avram and not to me?" So the Tzemach Tzedek said, when a Yid, a Jew, who's a tzaddik, at the age of 99 years old, is willing to perform circumcision, that person deserves that God should reveal himself to him. That's the story. There are many details to the...
That's the worst story I ever heard in my life. Did you understand the story?
No, the funny thing he's claiming, because this guy was 99 years old, and then he did perform the Brit Milah. Oh, this is the good stuff, right? But this guy lived for 600 years, right? According to the story. So 99 years doesn't mean a shit.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
The story a minute.
Oops, sorry. What?
Yeah. So there is like, he's claiming stuff. He's looking from the perspective of people like us, which are not 600 years old or 1900. Even I think more than that. That's 600 years, right? He's telling us, oh, 99, and this guy decided to do it. Therefore, it's a
He's a tzaddik. He's a tzaddik.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. I mean, if you're 99 years old and you decided to take your first skydiving or parachuting lesson, then that's the same thing. You know, one guy does it smartly, takes parachuting, and the other guy cuts his dick.
Yeah. He's not a hero, after all.
No, of course not. This is where I think this guy, he's
trying to say, look at this guy. 90 years old.
I have an internal conflict with this kind of stuff, because as much as I know he's serious and he's trying to impress and learn and teach and promulgate his ideas, I can't help, because it's so ridiculous, I can't help but look at this guy and listen to him as if he's a comedian. You know, he's a comedian playing an Orthodox Jew preaching the Brit Milah.
He's he's not a comedian. He is an asshole.
He is. I just have a hard time. To me, he's a comedian. Okay, so I have a hard time in understanding how people take him seriously, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they should not. They should not.
No, they should not.
The story. But let's just focus on one idea. And that is, what does it mean, Vayera Elav Hashem? We find this terminology before the circumcision also, in the portion of Lech Lecha, in chapter 12, verse number 7, and then again in chapter 17, verse number 1. It says over there, Vayera Hashem El Avraham, and God revealed himself to Avraham. So what was the novelty that took place after the circumcision? So there are two things. Number one, after the circumcision, it says, Vayera Elav Hashem. God revealed himself to him, Elav, to Avraham, directly. And therefore, the pasuk goes on to say, V'hu Yoshev, and Avraham was sitting, to imply he was able to internalize this great revelation. Number two is, the revelation that took place after the circumcision was greater than the revelation that took place before the circumcision. There are two levels in God's name. There's Havaya, the Tetragrammaton, which represents the 4 different levels of intellect and emotion. And then there's a higher level of Havaya, which is beyond time and space. And therefore we're told that after the circumcision, the level of Havaya, the tetragrammaton that is beyond time and space, that was the level that was revealed to Avraham. And this also is hinted in the passage where it says, he was sitting at the doorway of his tent in the heat of the day. It was a very, very hot day. Says Rashi that God took off the shield of the sun to make the sun more intense. And we know in Kabbalah it says that Havaya Shemesh, that the name of God alludes to the Shemesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
The shield of the sun. Tell me about that.
No, the thing why I would like to stop this because he's claiming there are 2 different stages, right? After and before Brit Milah.
Okay.
But he says there are 4 different stages. I don't know if you notice it. He said 4 different stages. So does it mean that the Brit Milah brings you just 1 stage above, or does it mean 4 different stages? And this is what I'm questioning, right? There is one thing you're doing. It brings you from 1 to 2, like uncircumcised, circumcised. But he's in fact talking about a 4 difference. It's kind of, this is what I don't like, right? People listening to this guy, he making some points. He explaining you, before the Brit Milah there was 1 stage. Then you become the Brit Milah, you go to the next stage. But there are 4 stages. Did you notice this? I mean, Sydney,
no.
Did you notice this? Yeah, then rewind. I'm sorry about that. He's talking about 4 different stages.
All right.
And therefore we're told that after the circumcision, the level of Havaya, the tetragrammaton that is beyond time and space, that was the level that was revealed to Avraham. And this also is hinted in the passage where it says, he was sitting at the doorway of his tent in the heat of the day. It was a very, very hot day. Says Rashi that God took off the shield of the sun to make the sun more intense. And we know in Kabbalah it says that Havaya Shemesh, that the name of God alludes to the Shemesh, alludes to the sun. In contrast to Elikim, which alludes to the shield of the sun, or the moon.
What?
So on this day, not only was there the level of Havaya, the level of the tetragrammaton, the sun, but the sun was so strong that God removed the sun from its shield, implying the higher revelation of God's name. So because Avraham Avinu performed the circumcision, 2 things happened. Number 1, God revealed himself to Avraham through a higher level, a greater revelation. And number 2, this revelation was able to be internalized in a very personal way, a love that Avraham was able to not only sense it, but actually internalize it in a very deep way. Now, why is this so? What's so powerful about the bris? What's so powerful about the circumcision? So we find 2 things. Number 1, the Rambam tells us that every mitzvah of the Torah has 3 brisim, has 3 covenants with God. Every time we do a mitzvah, we have 3 connections with God. In contrast to the circumcision, to the bris, says the Rambam, you have 13. You have 13 covenants with God.
Oh, I'm sorry.
13, by the way, we know also is the gematria of echad, which means 1. You truly become 1 with God. Number 2 is that the bris has to be b'bsarchem. It's the only mitzvah that actually changes the physical body. And therefore we have these two opposites. On one hand, the Bris alludes to the highest revelation of God, Vayera Elav Hashem. On the other hand, the mitzvah of circumcision impacts the lowest of all levels, the lowest part of the body, and it affects the
No,
skin.
it's not
and
the
forever.
lowest. The lowest part of your body will be your like
Toe will be your
where's the
toe.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the lowest part. Come on, biology. Come on.
These guys are. Oh, this is funny.
Why do you have this symbiotic opposite? And the answer is because of the fact.
Hold on. Is symbiotic opposite and a phrase that's coherent?
Symbiotic means something which works with another part.
You're right. Now, what does a symbiotic opposite mean?
Yeah, the opposite.
Yeah, which means what? You see, he just made up a phrase.
Yeah.
All right.
That the bris comes from such a high level, a revelation of God, of the Yud K Vav K, the Tetragrammaton, that's beyond time.
There, he said Yud K Vav K. See, you heard?
I don't understand Hebrew, so you have.
You said when he said Yud Hey Vav Hey, you said doesn't he have to? Isn't he allowed to? He's not allowed to say that. You see, you asked me, right?
Yeah.
And he's not. He's supposed to say Yud K Vav K, which is what he just did. I guess he fixed it. No, irrelevant.
Time and space. Therefore, it has the ability to influence and to impact and pervade even the lowest levels of the body and the physical world. And that is why Rashi tells us in verse 17, verse number 2, that through the performance of this mitzvah of circumcision, the Jewish people will inherit the land of Israel.
Oh,
Right. I preempted your stop.
So,
Okay.
woe out to all the Jews. If
Okay.
you perform circumcision, this is the reason why we inhabit the Near East.
Thank you. So if to all you Arabs out there,
Yeah. If you perform the
sorry.
Yeah, if you're performing all to the Muslims out there,
To all
if
the
you're
Muslims
performing
out
the
there.
circumcision, you're just agreeing with the Jews being the right
full owners.
inhabitants of the Near East.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Don't you love education?
Right. So thank you. No. I have to say before we go on,
Yeah.
I have to thank you to all the Muslims who are circumcised because every time they get circumcised,
Another Jew makes aliyah. Okay, let's promote that one. Every time a Muslim boy gets circumcised, another Jew makes aliyah to Israel. Remember that,
Yes.
Muslims.
Yes.
Because the mitzvah of circumcision has the ability of transformation. What does it mean to inherit the land of Israel? Avraham Avinu was already in the land of Canaan. But to inherit the land of Israel means to transform the land. A land that was secular to make it into a land that is holy. To an eretz, which is land.
He just said the land was secular.
Yes.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was like occupied by all these guys who believed in multiple gods, whatever.
That's secular to him.
So you mean secular people?
Secular people are non-Jewish people who don't believe in.
No.
Who are
Secular
non-Abrahamic. Like
It's
pagan.
it's different. Secular. So according to this guy, no, I'm just meaning.
Well, it
according
was
to this guy.
pagan. It was pagan. A lot of this.
No, but secular doesn't mean you believe in any gods, right? But according to this guy, secular means believing in gods, which is funny.
Right,
because
believing in other gods or
but secular
false gods.
Yeah, but secular doesn't mean. Secular means you don't believe in any gods because it's secular.
Yeah, but
It doesn't.
that's the way we understand it. But he is very close-minded, like you said in the very beginning, and his understanding of the word secular.
Yeah, it's very poor.
Is
His
different. Just like his understanding of the word atheist would be something that we wouldn't agree with.
Yeah.
Land comes from the word rotz and rotzoin, to run, to do the will of God. That even in a physical world, a world of commerce, a Jew will have the ability to transform the physical world into a land of God where he's able to sense godliness and spirituality.
This is all about the circumcising and the Jews coming back and Jews coming back to their land or something.
This is the Hasidic approach to the Bris Milah. There's a lovely story told that 1969, Rabbi Shlomo Riskin, who's the chief rabbi of Efrat, was called in by the Rebbe and asked if he would go to Russia. In those days, it was very difficult for Jews to perform the mitzvahs in Russia. But the Rebbe asked him to go, he went. And he was there, and he was teaching, and he was praying, and doing what he could to strengthen and encourage the Jews at that time. And he goes on to tell a story that in the middle of the night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, someone knocks on his hotel room. He gets up. Who's there? It's the shamish of the shul. What do you want? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to sleep. Was willst du? He says, Rabbi Riskin, we have a problem. We need a rabbi.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing about that.
We have a 65-year-old man who was never circumcised. Number two, we have a baby boy who's 30 days old who is also not circumcised. The father did not want to circumcise him on the 8th day because he did not want to be caught by the authorities. But tonight, 4 o'clock, we're going to do 2 brisim in the middle of the cemetery, in the outskirts of the city. And we need the rabbi there.
Do you notice that he's promoting law breaking? It's illegal to do circumcisions in the country, what he's talking about. But in order to break the law, Rabbi, come and meet us in the cemetery at 4 o'clock in the morning. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but I'm thinking the funny stuff about this story is that the rabbis will not go to a cemetery.
In Soviet Russia?
No, I know, because no, whatever, right?
Yeah.
This guy is talking shit.
I think so.
To perform the rituals by making the bracha over the wine and to give the name to the man and to the child. So Rabbi Riskin says, first of all, I'm a Kohen. I can't go into the cemetery. But I can go behind the cemetery.
This is what I said.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I said.
That's what I'm saying. You know, let the man speak.
He says, fine, perfect. We'll do it behind the cemetery. 3:45, the car's going to pick you up right outside the hotel. Once you leave the hotel, you make sure you duck so nobody should see you in the car. And we're going to bring you to the outskirts of the city, and you're going to perform as the rabbi the rituals after the moil does the circumcision. Rabbi Riskin is there, and he's impressed how fast the moil does it. You can imagine not wanting to be caught by the KGB, these Moilim did a fast, quick job. So he does a bris on the baby, and then there's a bris on the adult. And Rab Shlomo has to now make the brachas. So he starts with the baby. He fills up the cup of wine. And it's customary after you make the bracha, we say, Kishem, shenichnas lebris, kein yikones, l'seira l'chupal masam tovim. Just like we entered into the bris, so too we should enter into Torah and to marriage and good deeds. The way he translated was, Torah means bar mitzvah, you get called to the Torah. So just like you entered into the bris, so too you should enter into the bar mitzvah and into the marriage. All of a sudden, the father of the little baby starts screaming, don't say kishem, don't say kishem, don't say kishem. So what did I say wrong? He says, don't say kishem, don't say kishem. He said, I'm reading the siddur here, it says kishem. He says, don't say just like. He says, why not? He says, Rabbi, you have to understand, I'm not a religious Jew. I'm not a religious man. I just want my child to identify with Jews. I want my child to know all his life that he's a Jew. But I just had the bris 4 o'clock in the morning in the cemetery. I don't want kishem just like he had the bris 4 o'clock in the morning in the cemetery. So too he should have his bar mitzvah 4 o'clock in the morning. I want him to have a normal bar mitzvah. I want him to get married normally in a shul in front of everybody. And Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Riskin says that his grandchildren were born in Israel and bar mitzvahed in Israel and married in Israel in a revealed way in front of all the nations of the world in a happy and most joyous time.
What a stupid story.
This concept of milah is not only for men. The Gemara tells us that women are also born circumcised.
Listen to this. Okay, sit down, everybody. Women are born circumcised. Listen to this yarn. From
circumcised because of their brain.
Okay, have you got your popcorn ready, everybody? This is going to be interesting.
The funny stuff. It's like he's telling the story, right? And it should be fun because every rabbi is starting preaching with a joke.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is to make it
like
family. What's the word? Family friendly.
Exactly, and if you listen to what this guy was saying, right?
It's scary.
There is nobody in the background like enjoying this story.
Yeah, no one's clapping. Let's say, or cheering or anything, or laughing, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
There are some cults that perform barbaric surgery upon women, and they do circumcise women. The Torah says you don't circumcise women. However, they are born circumcised. In other words, that this connection that a boy has at 8 days old to God, the connection which is beyond time and space, a woman has this connection the moment she's born. She need not wait 8 days to have this connection. And therefore...
What a stupid statement.
Yeah, did you understand what he said? Did you actually catch what he said?
He is saying that women are circumcised from the day they are born.
Yes.
And
they're already circumcised.
But in fact, if you look up circumcision of women, right, it's removing parts of the woman vagina.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
3 stages of it or whatever.
Right.
I don't care how many stages. But the thing is, you're removing parts of the woman vagina, right? And he's this guy is telling us, oh, women are born circumcised.
Yes.
And what he's saying us further, the men have to catch up. Right?
Yeah.
They should be removed parts of them.
Yes.
But I'm still saying, how the stupid statement, if we are born in the image of God, right?
We are, but I guess women aren't, eh?
We are already perfect.
Mm.
So it doesn't mean that God wasn't born in the perfect state.
Mm.
He has to remove his forcing too, right?
Okay.
So yeah, all this guy is telling us is it's just nonsense.
Correct.
Additionally, a woman becomes bas mitzvah at the age of 12 and a boy at the age of 13. Why? Because of the fact that already 8 days earlier she was circumcised. And as the Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch, that when a child is circumcised, that is the beginning of the entrance of the godly soul into the body.
Once again,
so
please.
8 days
before.
Please.
Was he? If he's saying that the woman was circumcised 8 days earlier?
Yeah, at birth.
No, does he mean
8 days earlier than the boy?
Yeah, at which age? Right.
The same. If a boy and a girl were born at exactly the same time.
No. I don't
8
think
days
so.
later, the boy would be circumcised, but the girl would have already been circumcised for 8 days.
Yes, but if the guy was circumcised at the age of 13...
They're not talking about that. They're talking about the 8-day circumcision.
Yes, of course, but his analogy was the girl is circumcised 8 days before the man was circumcised, right?
Correct.
And then he's saying
by
that,
God before birth.
So all to the woman out there who are listening to this thing, you are all circumcised already.
That's right. You lucky things.
Before the boy has the godly soul, already the girl has the godly soul. So therefore both male and female have this connection, this marriage to God, a love and a bond that is beyond time and space. I just want to conclude with one last story, and that is the first time that the Lubavitcher Rebbe was a sandik at a bris was at the bris of my uncle, Rabbi Shalom Ber Hecht.
This was the first time ever
And at that
Jews
time,
get the bris.
the Lubavitcher Rebbe went into his father-in-law, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak, and he asked him, tell me, what should a sandik do at a bris? The sandik is the one that holds the baby. And I could just imagine the Rebbe thought that his father-in-law is going to give him deep Kabbalistic insights and Yechudim and unities and unifications and the gematrias and different names of God to contemplate on. And the Rebbe told him one thing: you should hold the baby tight.
First laugh.
That's the job of the sandik, to hold the baby tight. So we are sure that every time a child performs the bris, God, no doubt, is the ultimate tzaddik, and the sandik that holds every baby tight. And this bris lasts with the child throughout his entire lifetime. For every moment, every Jew is connected with God.
No,
in
you're
places
lying
of
now.
joy, in places of light, and even, God forbid, in places of darkness and sorrow, God is there also. So we hope and pray that that we will see very soon how God will truly circumcise our hearts with the coming of Mashiach speedily in our days.
Amen.
It's sounding crazy. Like this guy is saying, like, hold me tight, whatever. Hold me tight to your heart.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with your dick, right?
Yeah. It's just
So-
it's just propaganda. That's all it is.
Yeah. So
Well, it would have been nice
Yeah.
to have gotten a room going for discussion, but there's just not enough viewers.
yeah, and yeah, it was like I didn't like to watch this guy.
The next one that I have,
No,
Is-
there'll be no next one
it's
because
not today,
I'll go-
not today, not today, but the next one that I have is from a different Chabad in New York, but it's worse. It's worse than this one. I played the mild one first.
Okay, the mild one was horrible enough.
Yes. No, absolutely. But no, I think you should, especially you who's had the procedure in adulthood, you should listen
Yeah.
to the next one. And I'm sure you'll get just as irritated as you did now today.
Yeah. Okay. So, nevertheless, thank you very much for having me. And
Are you done?
yeah, I'm done. I cannot take it anymore.
Okay, it sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
So see you next time, Sydney.
All right.
And thank you for a talk. And
Thanks for coming.
see you next time.
Yep.
Bye bye.